Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening, and welcome to the second Pompey podcast brought to you by Pompey Memes with myself, Sam, and sat next to me is Mr. Optimistic, Mr. Ian Chiverton. Hello, Chiv.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second podcast. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about several things. We're going to be doing our first Pompey quiz, and we're going to be talking about the matches against Carlisle and Morecambe, and we've got our feature from our first podcast, Dinlo of the Week. And also we're going to be doing a new feature, and that's a Chivs Stat Corner. And we're going to preview ahead to the game for Crew. But before we do that, we're just going to have a listen to some highlights from the Carlisle game.
Breaking forward into the penalty area, driving towards that dead ball line. Here's a good cross across against your 6-yard area. There's Owen Doyle! Great chance over the bar. How did he miss from a couple of yards out? Here's Kyle Bennett trying to take it past Joyce, does so successfully. The ball laid off to Carl Baker, tries a shot, loops, great save from the keeper. And here comes Carlisle down this near side, no flag. Here's O'Sullivan. Carlisle breaking forward, cut back to Lamb. Here's a chance, shoots right-footed. Good save down low to his right by David Ford.
It should open it up a little
Here's
bit.
Michael
hopefully.
Doyle coming forward, inside right channel. Here's Gary Roberts into the box, tries a shot. Oh! That's Pompey are ahead! The Blues take the lead in the big League 2 clash. And it's Gary Roberts. All Pompey. Right-footed shot from Nick.
Oh,
what a goal! 25 yards, right-footed shot from Amin Linganzi. And it's a great strike. As Jack Watmore comes forward from central defence. Here he is in the penalty area. Right-hand side, combines with Connor Chaplin. Here's Naismith. Can he put the cherry on top? Shoots left-footed and it's deflected. There's Watmore! And it's a third for Pompey. And that is the icing on the cake for the Blues. And Watmore celebrates in front of the Pompey fans. It's Carlisle United 0, Pompey 3.
So those were the highlights from the Carlisle game. Pompey coming out 3-0 winners. We asked for your views on Pompey Memes Twitter, and we got some. So Sam, what do we get?
Jim Brown got in touch and said, fantastic result that needs to be the defining point. We finally get winning consistency to get us out of this league. Yesterday's results put our destiny back into our own hands without relying on the others. I so hope we can do it. Play up Pompey. Andy Matthews said, meeting the team on Carlisle Station made my day, and he sent in a picture with him and Paul Cook, as I think there was an issue with the coach. We saw the issue as well, going up with the engine flap open on the way up the motorway. Anthony Irvine said, goal threats all round, only Michael Doyle and David Ford haven't scored now. Patience, luck and creativity key to this win. That would be true, other than Jamal Lowe, but we'll let you off. We'll let you off, Anthony, since you get in touch all the time. Chris says, effing brilliant, and he puts in bracket, you can use that. We need to censor it because SoundCloud won't let us otherwise.
No.
Yeah. Jason Canderton says, great second half performance, passed Carlisle to death. Great vocal support by loyal fans. Play like that, promotion in May. Chris says, second half performance was fantastic. Think the formation change gave us more freedom, allows two up top but allows defensive solidity. Darren on Twitter again says, fantastic day all round. Yesterday's consistency in the run it needed. This team is more capable of that. Chris also poses the question, do you still think we can win the title? We'll come on to that later because obviously the Morecambe game has happened since, but we will come back to that question, Chris. Bryce also said that the police in Carlisle was a bit OTT. It was like stepping out of that train station. It was like stepping on the set of The Wire. Clearly an overtime bonanza for the Cumbria Constabulary, which we did see. We got to Carlisle at about 11:45 and we went straight to the Wetherspoons. We did notice that there was a heavy police presence, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, of course there's going to be a heavy police presence. I don't know why people act so surprised.
But we do go to other away games and there's not as heavy police that there was on Saturday, because we didn't see it all. We were in the Wetherspoons. I think the main pub was the Griffin, which was right by the train station, so I'm guessing there was a larger police about than we actually saw.
I don't know. Could have been a mix of things. Maybe they didn't want Pompey fans mixing with local drinkers and revellers. There were plenty of them.
The nightclub people dressed up like they're going clubbing at 12 o'clock in the Wetherspoons. I mean, but anyway, that's a sidetracking. So what did you actually make of the performance against Carlisle?
Yeah, I thought we were brilliant. I thought it was really good. First half, is just containment. I mean, they had their decent share of play. Maybe they should have been ahead, but we kept them under wraps. And I think, in the press box after the game, we heard that, the media were saying it was a dire game and both sides were poor.
The first half, anyway.
I don't particularly agree with that. The fans in their way, and certainly we were more than happy with 0-0 at half time.
I thought it was a really entertaining match, the 0-0 to start with. I wasn't bored at any point like I have been this season.
No, me neither, not at all. I was happy with that, and the difference is that did we step it up second half. I mean, my God.
We did, but Carlisle did have 2 substitutions in the first half, and that was both their centre-backs, which their manager alluded to. I mean, he made tons and tons of excuses, that being one of them.
He's king of the excuses. He made them last night when they lost as well. So.
Yeah, but then our changes in the second half, that's when we really kicked on, didn't it? It was the 3 substitutions. Well, it was the 2 to start with. It was Chaplin and Watmore that came on for Bennett and Baker. And personally, I don't think Roberts actually had that great a game up until the substitutes.
No, I don't think he did. The change in formation was obviously key. I can't say, I do think about tactics and things during the game, but I can't say that I was thinking of changing to that formation. But when he did it, we kind of said to each other, didn't we? As soon as he did it, yeah, that makes sense. That's going to give us a lot more. We can push the wide, the centre, right back and left back out, Evans and Stevens out wide, and it just, from that moment on, we just tore them to pieces. They barely had a sniff after that. Because
Evans, and we alluded to this last podcast, Evans and Stevens, they're more attackers than defenders, and they having the 3 at the back allowed them to get forward a lot more, which kept the Carlisle players more occupied because there's more players that they're facing in an offensive position. And then Gary Roberts picked the ball up midfield, scooped it with the outside of his foot. We're not his biggest fan, we won't sugarcoat it, but what a goal that was.
Yeah, it's a fantastic finish, really good goal. And at that point we had them well on the back foot. They didn't know what to do. We had so many men bombing forward, and that is the strength of a Paul Cook side. That is how he wants them to play. And when it clicks, we just decimate sides. And they're 3rd in the league. They're not a joke side, and we've gone to their patch and tore them to pieces in the second half. It was really, really good. And in the end, we thoroughly deserved it. Yeah, we rode our luck. They had a couple of chances. They should have scored before we did. The guy got between Proctor, wasn't it? He got between Burgess and Evans, and Burgess and Clark. So he should have scored. He missed it, and we made the most of that.
And don't forget, Ford made a terrific save as well in that second half.
Yeah, great save. And as soon as he made it, we were sort of mumbles around us saying that could be a match winner. It was such a good save. Got down quick. He's not the youngest, most agile keeper. His shot stopping's maybe not his speciality, but as we've seen in the last game and last night, like his one-on-one. He's done 2 great saves in the last 2 games.
People were calling for him to be the man of the match, and actually, when you think about it, when it was 0-0 at that point, that could have put us a goal behind. It could have been a totally different game completely.
Yeah, absolutely, and they were moaning about the fact that they had to sub their 2 centre backs. To be honest, I don't really care. Like, stuff like this happens. It's football. You're not entitled to have your centre backs on the pitch. If they get injured, we have to capitalise on it, and we absolutely did that. So fair play to us, tough luck to them.
And for us, that was the best away day I think you and me have both said that we've ever done, just because of the whole weekend that we had. But both of our heads were hurting so much after that 3rd goal went in, weren't they?
Yeah, the adrenaline was absolutely incredible, especially after the first goal. Just the relief to take the lead was unbelievable. And then it was just an amazing away day, absolutely amazing. The fans were incredible. To take that distance is impressive, and just constant noise. It was excellent.
The only thing that lingers a negativity in my mind from that game, Owen Doyle missed 2 very good chances. One was from about 3 yards out. He whacked it over the bar. The second one, he'd done all the hard work. The keeper came out for a ball. It bounced the wrong way. Doyle got to it and couldn't side foot it in. Is that a worry, the fact that he hasn't converted? As I say, he's done all the hard stuff. Why isn't he scoring these easy chances?
Well, what can you say? He should be. It's as simple as that. He should be converting those. But there's absolutely nothing to be achieved by getting on his back. We did it to Smith. A certain set of fans did it to Smith, forced him out the club. Doing it to Doyle would be completely counterproductive.
And to a lot of people that would have listened to it on the radio and heard, oh, Doyle's missed this chance, Doyle's missed that chance, won't be able to appreciate how much he actually brings to the side, playing, even when he's not scoring, he still adds a lot more than Michael Smith ever did.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's starting to vary game to game though. Against Carlisle, yeah, he missed the 2 sitters. It could have cost us, it didn't, but we won anyway. But he did a lot of work off the ball. And then later, when we talk about last night's game against Morecambe, we get to the fact that he didn't really do a lot last night. But I just don't think we can get on his back. It's going to be Cook's going to play him. He's Cook's man. We need to accept that, get behind him, and who knows, if we give him support, what's to say he's not going to smash 10 goals in the next 13 games? He could hit a hat-trick on Saturday. Like, we've just got to keep behind him.
And the games are coming thick and fast, so he's going to have plenty of opportunities. Paul Cook's not going to drop a man who he's been after for 2 years, ever since he came to the club.
No, of course he's not. And I saw a couple of people on Twitter saying Doyle needs to be dropped immediately. Ludicrous. He's not going to drop Doyle. Like, you can get that out of your heads. He's not going to drop Doyle.
But all in all, pretty decent weekend. We stayed overnight. We had a nice little curry afterwards, and buzzing. Absolutely buzzing after that game.
Yeah, it was a really, really good night. Yeah, really good. Shall we move on to your quiz?
So we're with Josh. Josh has said that he's going to be the first person to take our Pompey quiz. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So you're a season. Thank you very much, and we're delighted to have you too. So you're a season ticket holder in the Fratton end, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Fantastic. Do you go to any away games?
Pretty much every single one.
Good
as
man.
as I can get to.
Hopefully we'll see you at a few, because we're going to the rest of them as well. So just a rundown of the rules quickly. You've got a minute to answer 10 questions, if I can get the 10 questions out on time. You could pass on any of them. They might be tricky. Chiv had a go. Chiv wasn't very good, but I wish you the best of luck.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Who were Pompey's opening day opponents at Fratton Park this season?
Carlisle United.
Correct. Name the Blues' assistant manager.
Liam Richardson.
Correct. Which Pompey player earlier this season was given the nickname the Assassin by Paul Cook?
Conor Chaplin.
Correct. Pompey made 2 signings from non-league club Hampton and Richmond Borough this football year. Name the 2 players.
Jamal Lowe and Nicky Kabamba.
Correct. Which fellow League 2 team plays at home park?
Plymouth Argyle.
Yes. Adam Buxton departed the club in January, but who did he later sign for on deadline day?
Tranmere Rovers.
Correct. Portsmouth happily finished 3rd in the Checkatrade Trophy, but how many points did they finish with?
1 against Yeovil.
15
No,
seconds.
2. No, none against Yeovil.
You could pass if you want.
1 against
seconds.
4.
Correct, yes. Pompey signed Carl Baker in the summer, but who was the last club he played for before joining the Blues?
Elgidons.
Correct, and that is your... How many was that? 8. 8 out of 8, so we didn't get to the 10, but pretty good start. You got 100% for the amount that you've done. That's not bad going, Josh. Congratulations, you've done so much better than Chiv. Chiv got 5 or 6, so well played to you, and thank you very much for being the first listener to take the Pompey quiz.
Yeah. No problem.
You take care, and as I say, hopefully we'll see you at an away game this year.
Yep, I'll keep listening on the podcast.
Thank you very much. All the best, mate.
Cheers.
So that was Josh taking our Pompey quiz. We spoke to him earlier on today, so thank you again, Josh, for participating. If anyone wants to participate in the future, you can contact us through Pompey Memes on Twitter. We'd be delighted to have you on. He did pretty well, 8. That's a decent score. I actually did one as a test. That's never going to be aired, you promised.
I did. Although we did say we might do a blooper reel, so we might include that. Maybe at Christmas.
It would definitely fit in the blooper reel.
Okay, cool. So after Pompey's 3-0 win, we then played Morecambe on Tuesday night. Let's have a little listen to the highlights from the Morecambe game.
And the ball is cut back and it's saved by the legs of Barry Roach. It's not just away from home that Morecambe's form has been impressive. Only 1 defeat in their last 10 league matches in total. But they're on the back foot here as they run into the penalty area again. Sees Pompey denied. This time it's Gareth Evans. Again, it's Barry Roach. Evans skips around the challenge, left-footed, cannons the ball against the defender, and Paul Mullin will try and turn defence into attack for Morecambe. It's a good run by Mullin as well. Mullin into the penalty area, unselfish ball, and this time it's Ford he saves with his legs. Headed clearance, but Portsmouth do well to win the ball back in midfield, and it's picked up from deep by Naismith, the substitute. Oh, he goes for goal! He's only been on the pitch for a minute, and the substitute makes it 1-0. Pompey have a 100% winning record when scoring the first goal this season. They're on the back foot here. Morecambe come forward, and it is the equaliser. Oh, that record might be broken now. It's Lee Molyneux who's got the goal, and has sucked the ball into the net as the cross comes in. Roach can't get there. Well, it's finished here. 1-1.
So those were the highlights from Pompey's 1-1 draw against Morecambe at Fratton Park on Tuesday night. At the end of the game, a lot of people were disappointed, but with the results, Plymouth and Carlisle, it actually makes quite good looking for the table.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, they definitely did us a favour. Plymouth are the ultimate League 2 bottle jobs, so the fact that they're hemorrhaging points is not a surprise. Carlisle stumbling, again, maybe not too much of a surprise, but the fact that they both lost last night has really made that point look decent. I mean, if they both won last night, it would have been a terrible result, but the fact is it's another point gained on them. We're not going to win every game. Morecambe lost 1 in 2017, unbeaten in 10. That was never going to be an easy game. It was just, to think it was, we're not going to thrash teams like that. Yeah, we should have held on for the win. I don't think anyone would deny that, and I think Cook and the players were disappointed we didn't hold on, but it's a point gained, and on Carlisle and Plymouth, who we're chasing as well now. So I was okay. I was a bit annoyed at the end of the game, but by the next morning I was okay.
And we actually played really well. First half, I don't think we've ever started, I can't remember recently us starting as well as we did against Morecambe.
I don't think you can play any better than that without scoring. But again, it's our issue, isn't it, where we have ridiculous amount of shots, 17 shots in the first half, no goals. Doyle
missed a few again, didn't he? I mean, there was one that was offside, the header that, but I think there were quite 2 or 3 sitters in the first half.
Yeah, I don't know, it surprises me. A player of his calibre is missing chances which should just be basic finishes for him.
He's in the right areas though, which is something that Smith wasn't. Smith always lingered away from the danger area where he should have been. So it is positive that we are having these chances, and the goals are going to come. It's positive that he's there.
Yeah, we just need to not get on his back, I think.
I agree because we don't want another. I don't think he's going to be a confidence player. I think he's frustrated at himself, but I do think the goals will come. Second half, Naismith came on. I do just want to say the second he hit that, what did I shout?
You screamed like a 5-year-old girl. That's in.
What happened?
It went in.
Yeah. So well, my bets never go right, and I didn't put a bet on that, but.
Well, I don't know where your balls went because it's pretty high pitch, but yeah, that's fine. You were right. It went in.
Well, if I could do that more often and be right, then I'll happily go around.
I thought it was going wide.
You know.
I didn't even move. I thought, oh, that's going wide, and then it crept in. Their keeper should have saved it. He was. Well, you could see from the highlights he was too slow getting down, but he'd had a blinder apart from that.
He did, and he always has a blinder against us. He scored against us last year, didn't he? No. Yeah. Okay.
I think the game changed on the substitution, 79 minutes when Linganzi came off. I know people were sort of grumbling a bit, but I said to you, didn't I, he's injured.
Yeah, he was limping.
I saw him hobbling in the centre. I knew he was injured. So
Cook actually mentioned that as well. He said it was a shame that Linganzi came off because that was all of our substitutions used up. So Cook knew that there was something wrong. He couldn't have left Linganzi on.
He was about to bring Hunt on.
And then Linganzi obviously
And then Linganzi had to. And I feel that changed the game, really.
That's not Cook's fault, though. For anyone that thinks that's stupid, you can't bring on Hunt for whoever he was going to take off and have an injured player on the pitch.
No, it's not his fault. And If your player's injured, he's injured. I'm a big fan of Rhodes. I really like him, but I've got to say, when he came on, we weren't immediately sure if it was an injury, but I remember thinking, like, that's not a substitution I would have made, because with Linganzi, what you get with him is control in the centre of midfield. He keeps the ball, he's very tidy, and he's always an option because he doesn't push forward. He's always an option to pass the ball back if you're trying to retain possession. And I feel that after he went off, we kept losing the ball and we couldn't retain possession, and they ended up breaking and scoring. And I'm pretty confident that wouldn't have happened if Linganzi had been on the field.
Well, 1-0 up, we were playing as if we were more than one goal up. It did seem a little bit dangerous at times.
I think we have to play like that. I don't think you can go, but how many times last season and the season before did we go backs against the wall trying to defend out leads and concede last minute goals to goalkeepers and things like that? So no, we've got to attack even at 1-0. I'm not like a believer in that. One
thing I want to mention is because Gary Roberts, time after time, will commit silly fouls, and I think he should have been sent off the other day. I can't remember who it was against, a home match against.
Yeah, I remember.
He lunged in. He probably should have been sent off, but I just want to praise him for the yellow card that he got against Morecambe, because they were bombing it down the middle. I don't know how Roberts managed to catch up to him. This is Gary Roberts we're talking.
He clipped the guy's heel
but,
at the last minute.
But I think more Pompey players need to do that. I think Bennett had a chance in the first or second half. I think it was the second half, where Morecambe were breaking it, and that's what they came to do. They came to sit back and catch us on the break, and they were going for it. And Bennett, you're just saying, just foul him in their half, because there's less danger there. Take a booking for the team, and I just wanted to praise Gary Roberts for actually doing that. It's the one yellow card that I think you haven't been a dick this time.
I do think we lack a bit of physicality in our side. Against Carlisle, do you remember when their midfielder went on a run and Doyle was trying to chase him, and it was like an old biddy on a mobility scooter? Like, he was so damn slow, he couldn't catch up. He couldn't get anywhere near it. Linganzi, where he is quality at retaining and pass completion, his stats must be through the roof. He's very, very weak in the challenge. He's very weak in the challenge, which concerns me, because Doyle hasn't got the legs to catch these people. Like, when he does, he crunches them, but he doesn't always have the legs to catch them up, and Linganzi pulls out of challenges, and Doyle does it as well up front. So he's very soft. I want to see him much more of a physical presence up front.
Well, we've also got Stanley Obora, who played in Monday night's reserve win over Everton. I went to the game. He looked very good. He looked very calm on the ball. He was a defensive midfielder. He didn't get forward that much, although he did have one shot that went past the post. So he again is always an option.
Well, yeah, maybe some cover for Doyle in the coming games, because Doyle I like him. He's obviously our skipper. He's an okay player. I don't think he's been as good this year as he was last year, but he's still been okay. But his legs are going.
Well, the games are coming thick and fast with players like Gary Roberts and Michael Doyle, who are of the older generation of footballers out there at the moment.
They're the same age as me.
You're not a professional footballer.
No,
don't be silly.
Took an arrow to the knee.
So you've thrown me. What was I saying?
Yeah, you were talking about Stanley Obora and his ability to cover.
Yeah, so we've got he's there as I said, the games are coming thick and fast. Before the Carlisle match, in 3 weeks, there's 18 points that we could have played for, so we aren't going to have the same lineup Saturday after Tuesday after Saturday after Tuesday. It is going to change. There are going to be changes, because these players, as fit as they are, we didn't have this last year.
No, this is... I can't remember last time that we had 6 league games in 3 weeks.
This is crunch time.
I don't think that's ever happened in the time I followed Pompey, so he's going to have to start rotating at some point. They're not all going to play all the games, so it'll be interesting to see who he brings in, but I think Doyle and Roberts are prime suspects to be rotated or rested.
What, Owen Doyle?
No, Michael Doyle.
Oh, you do think he will?
Yeah, he's got to. His legs, right. His legs are shot.
So that was the 1-1 draw against Morecambe, which in the end actually doesn't look too bad with the table as it is. We are 2 points behind Carlisle with a game in hand, so keep the faith with that one, Pompey fans. Chiv, you've got something special for us.
I have. I've got my stats, Chiv's stats, or Chiv's shitty stats.
I've got Chiv's stat corner.
Yeah, okay, let's roll that.
Chivsy stat corner.
Let's go with Chiv's stat corner.
Okay, right.
Right, okay. So, well, the aim of this little feature here, I'm into my stats, as you know. Normally after a loss, if I text you some stats, you send an expletive back.
I don't care about stat. I don't like.
Well, I'm going to make you care.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the beauty of
stat.
Me.
Wow me.
Now, obviously, with stats, you can look at them any way you want, and you can get a stat to fit an argument, can't you?
Do you want my honest opinion of your stats, or do you want me to find the negatives in them? What do you want me to do?
No, don't be negative. We're not doing moaners.
Okay, well, I'll just be me.
No, like I said, we don't want the moaners. We want some positivity.
Okay, go on.
So I'm going to give you some stats, and I'm going to see how impressed you are.
Go for it.
Okay, are you ready? So, this time last season, we were in a run of 2 wins in 5 and 11 points off the autos. We're currently 2 points off the autos and 5 undefeated.
That makes me happy, because how many weeks before the end of the season did we actually drop out? 3, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, yeah, I'll give that a 6 out of 10.
Ugh.
No, 7.
Okay. They're not all exact stats, by the way. They're just.
You've made them up, haven't you?
No, I haven't made them up. I did some research. Okay, so Plymouth still have Carlisle, Mansfield, Wickham, Morecambe, Doncaster, Portsmouth, Colchester and Grimsby to play. So they have still got to play 8 of the top 11 sides. Carlisle have to play 5 of the top 11 sides, and Portsmouth have also got to play 5 of the top 11 sides, meaning that there's a hell of a lot of teams taking points off each other in the running.
Okay. Is that as of yesterday, of the Morecambe match?
So going forward.
But that table could, from 20 till about 8, that can all change in a couple of games, can't it?
Well, that's what I mean. There's so many teams playing each other that, you can't look at a side and say, well, if they win 12 of their last 13, it's not going to happen because they're playing each other. So the point is that last year, Bristol Rovers, they won 10 and drew 2 of their last 13 games. So they only lost 1 of their last 13. And they rocketed into 3rd place with 85 points. Now, Liam Richardson came out this week and said he thinks that 84 points is going to be enough to secure top 3. So for us, that would be 9 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses out of 13 games. I personally don't think it's going to be that high. I think we're looking at 80 to 82 points to secure 3rd, purely because a couple of reasons. Plymouth and Carlisle, who currently occupy those spots, are hemorrhaging points like crazy, and all the teams up there are playing each other multiple times over. So I can't see teams getting more than early 80s for points. So that would mean we'd only need 8 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses, and that is more than achievable.
My mind is numb.
But the positivity, those stats.
I would definitely give you a 5 for that stat. But I don't think I'm upset by it. I enjoyed that. It was just a lot to take in.
What about this one then? So this time last year, 33 games played. Plymouth were sat in 3rd with 64 points. Carlisle currently occupy 3rd with only 58 points. So 6 fewer than Plymouth this time last year.
So that means the teams are worse.
Yeah, well, if you look, you can look at it a couple of ways, but the way I'm looking at it is that if Plymouth were sat on 64 points and the team who finished in 3rd got 85, then you're not going to need 85 to finish in 3rd this year.
Decent, I like that. I'll give that 7.
A 7? Well, I'm going to have to work on it.
You are.
That's it. That's all my stats. I think that was decent.
No, fair play to you. Fair play. So that was, what are we calling it? Chivs Stat Corner.
Yeah, I think that's decent.
We'll have a little jingle. Chivs Stat Corner.
That's decent.
Cool.
Did you know we've scored first in 21% of our games?
That's just come up on the website we've got, hasn't it?
Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah, but that's not your stat.
Okay. I try.
You do try.
I try for our listeners.
So,
some of them might like stats, some of them might be asleep. I don't know.
Some of them, yeah, okay.
I like a stat.
Right, up and coming this Saturday at Fratton Park, Pompey are playing Crewe. What are your thoughts on that game?
It's a must win and it's also a should win. Normally, you know what I'm like, not always that pushy going into games saying that we should definitely win, but this is an absolute should win.
They lost 4-0 to...
third from bottom Hartlepool.
And that was yesterday, Tuesday.
That's shocking. Like, we should be ripping them to pieces tomorrow on Saturday. There's no excuses. We have to win games. They are, as far as we're concerned, cannon fodder. We've got to beat them. There's no ifs or buts.
Richardson said recently that there is a thumping coming for one of Pompey's opponents.
Yep.
Do you reckon it could be Crewe?
Yeah, it could be Crewe. They've lost 2 of their last 3. So they lost to Hartlepool 4-0. They lost to Stevenage 2-1. They drew with Blackpool 2-2 prior to that. So
they're shipping goals.
Yeah, they are. They are. They had a couple of... they randomly beat Grimsby 5-0 in early Feb. I don't know how they managed that. But they got thumped by Exeter 4-0. There's just no... I can't, like I say, normally I'm a little bit defensive saying, you respect the opposition. But given their current form, their last result and our need to win,
so
we've got to turn it on Saturday. We've got to turn up.
Come 2 o'clock Saturday, when we're in the pub, are you expecting the same lineup?
That's a good question. Well, obviously it will depend on Nganzi's injury.
Mm-hmm.
They might choose... I wouldn't be surprised if Rose came in just as a precaution, if anything.
A Bora on the bench then, maybe?
Yeah, possibly. I can't see a Bora starting, so it'd be Rose probably starting. Roberts had an okay game in Tuesday night, so I don't think they're going to rotate him. Possibly Naismith for Bennett, although Bennett played well before he went off. So
he actually done okay, yeah.
It's good that we've got players playing well, that you can say Naismith did well, but the player he replaced also did well. I mean, that is a good headache to have, especially at this time in the league. And yeah, I expect us to win. We have to win. They're the games that last year we tripped up on, and we hemorrhaged points against teams. You remember, like the Notts County 3-0 defeat. We cannot lose to teams like Crewe at home if we're gonna be a top 3.
And fingers crossed, Danny Hollands gets a decent reception when he comes back.
Well, you can't see why not. Should do.
So that's the up and coming game against Crewe. Let's go to our Dinlo of the week.
Dinlo of the week. So our Dinlo of the week. I think there's only one contender. Would that be fair?
I think so, yeah.
It's that twat scummer who came into the Fratton End on Tuesday night.
But he was brave.
Yeah, he's got balls like basketballs, but what an idiot. I'm sure everyone enjoyed windmilling into him, but that's putting on my adult grown-up head as I do for work. That's near on suicide. He could have been really seriously hurt. And if someone had thrown him down the concrete stairs, he could have been really seriously hurt.
Well, he had to be carried out by the stewards, didn't he? There are videos out there. We did actually happen to see the scarf get burned. That was really enjoyable, actually.
Yeah,
there's a couple of rows in front of us.
I think I don't know what he was trying to get out of that, but what he did do was, like you say, the scarf was set fire just in front of us, and it gave the crowd a massive lift.
Which all the
anti-scummer songs came out, led to us scoring. So I don't think he actually achieved what he wanted to achieve, whichever way.
So thanks to that scummer, we got a point.
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Also, another scummer that's a bit of a din this week, Matt Letitia.
Yeah, with his 6 reasons why Southampton will beat Manchester United in the cup final.
Oh, did they play in the cup final, did they?
Oh, don't know. Should we have a listen?
Okay.
Martial fires it out to Ander Herrera.
So that was the Scummers losing in the cup final. I'm sure I just got home from Carlisle in time to watch that. When Ibrahimovic scored the winner, I nearly kicked my daughter off the sofa jumping up. She was scared, she thought something had happened, but no, that was very enjoyable. So note to all Scummers, I know there's maybe some scummers listening, do you think? Don't they?
Oh, well, they've got nothing better to do.
Well, exactly.
Their sisters not home.
Any scummers listening, if you want to see our trophy cabinet, then you can book tours. You don't need to buy match tickets in the front end. Just a little note there. So thank you for joining us on our second Pompey Memes podcast. If you've got any feedback, then we'd be happy to receive that. You can follow us at Pompey Memes on Twitter. You can follow me at Pompey Chiv on Twitter as well. So it's a goodbye from me and a goodbye from Sam.
Goodbye.
See you next time.
I'm